Google's great because you can target people that are already searching for what you want or what they want to buy.
This is Tana from Bow Wow Labs.
Hey, this is Amber with Coco Moon.
This is Josh Krouse of ICE, HomeArcadeGames.com.
And you're listening to...
the
E-Comm Show.
Welcome to the E-Comm Show, presented by BlueTuskr, the #1 place to hear the inside scoop from other e-commerce experts, where they share their secrets on how they scaled their business and are now living the dream. Now, here is your host, Andrew Math.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Ecom Show. I am your host, Andrew Math, and today I am joined by Josh Krouse of ICE, or Innovative Concepts in Entertainment. Josh, how you doing? You ready for a good show?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, Andrew. Happy to share our company and history with you, and look forward to talking through everything.
Beautiful. Really appreciate having you on the show. I'm always super excited for every show for some individual reason. And for you guys specifically, you have the coolest product line. Like at the end of this, I'm scouring your website and I'm going through because there's so much stuff I want to get into, but I also want to get into obviously the e-commerce side of things and figure out how you guys tick. But let's pretend that no one knows who you guys are and anything around those lines. So why don't you just give us a little bit of background on ICE and we'll start from there.
Sure. Absolutely. So our company started in 1982 with our first product, which, was a huge success. It was the Czechs bubble hockey game. We invented it shortly after the USA versus Russia Winter Olympics game, and based around that game. And it was just a huge success, sort of helped our company grow right from the start, into a global brand. Our game became a staple of arcades, bars, and family entertainment centers around the country and around the world very quickly. And that product has, helped us grow throughout the years. The brand recognition and the name recognition, Czechs bubble hockey, go hand in hand. And so, that's helped us, and we've kept things very consistent throughout the years as well. As an American-made company, all of our games are made right here in Buffalo, New York, Clarence specifically. And so all of our products are made in the USA. And, with Czechs, we then released a game afterwards called Kicks, which was our bubble soccer game. Initially, we actually had a turf play field inside the dome. A lot of people remember the boo button from the Czechs game. Since then, we kind of grew. We got into ticket redemption, cranes, claw games. We had a huge Dave & Buster's, brought it in, but a lot of our other arcades around the world. The Deal or No Deal game was a huge success for us. We do tons of licensed products. One of our best, most successful games is our Ice Ball Pro or Ice Ball FX, which we've made into the Ice Ball Pro for the home market. Our NBA Game Time arcade game, which is a basketball style arcade game, NBA hoops. The games that we make, people might not necessarily always associate with our company and our brand, but when you see them in the arcade, you recognize them instantly. So, from there, we've kind of, grown, and just in the past 10 years, we've taken Czechs direct to consumer with, bubblehockey.com, superchecks.com, and now we have homearcadegames.com. And that's kind of, grown our direct to consumer business in such a way that we felt, especially with the onset of the pandemic last year, that we should expand those home game offerings to include our Ice Ball Pro, our NBA Game Time Pro, Jurassic Park Pro, Super Kicks Pro we introduced a few years ago. We have a home air hockey game now, and we partner with a few of our other American-made arcade game partners, such as Stern Pinball, Arachnid in Chicago, Chicago Games, to help build out that lineup of home games. And that's a short, condensed history, but I think it helps to kind of explain where we have been and how we got to now. We've seen a ton of success this year with the great reopening across the world, as arcades and family entertainment centers have reopened, and people are still in the process of building out their new home game rooms and going through the renovations that they've started during COVID. And we're just kind of seeing, hey, some people still want to stay at home, and we have the perfect solution, whether you're going to stay at home or you're going to go out and hang out with your friends in the arcade.
Awesome. So one of the pros and cons of this podcast is that it's also video recorded. So if anyone is listening to this podcast, head over to our YouTube and check out Josh's background, because he's in his showroom and it just looks like, I don't know how you guys get any work done, because I'd be testing all the time.
Absolutely.
And just giving the games a good time. So your role there, you are a sales and marketing associate. Is that specifically it's a homearcadegames.com, correct?
Yep, absolutely. So, my role in joining the company was to take the direct consumer sales, for home products, and also to build out a reseller network for the home products to the next level. We have, established distributors in the coin operated space who've been with us for decades, that buy our products and sell to coin operated family entertainment centers around the world. But we also now we've built out a reseller network to carry our home games. So if you're in California and you're in Los Angeles and you want to go check out our games, you can visit one of our resellers out there and visit their showroom. Or if you're in Florida or Texas, anywhere in the East Coast, something that we really want to help people get a sense of what our games are like. It's one thing to see it online, through our website and, check it out. But, a lot of people want to put their hands on the product first and test it, which we completely understand. We let people book appointments with us and come into our showroom if they want to check out our games. We also give tours, and we, just through a combination of both having resellers and a really stellar online shopping experience, we think that both of those things help to build trust in our direct consumer products. I think, our expectation is that we can make this part of the business as successful, if not more successful, than the arcade side, because the direct consumer avenue, although it takes a little bit more time to set up, I think can pay dividends if built out properly.
Yeah. So love that you're on the sales and marketing side, because that's right up my alley. So we could do this all day. So you obviously have a product line that's a relatively higher price point than most e-commerce sellers are used to. So what is your strategy when you're kind of like, when you're setting up all your marketing, whether it's through social or paid ads or any content creation or anything like that? Like, how are you kind of focusing on making sure that you're honing in on that audience that can afford this product and has the room in their house for it?
Yeah. So I think one of the nice things about what I'm trying to do is that with the bubble hockey game specifically, we've been selling that directly online for the past 10 years. And it's helped us to sort of, find out what our, buyer persona looks like. Because, it's been selling for a long time based off of, the popularity of it as an arcade game. People are familiar with it growing up with the nostalgia. So we kind of have a good idea of what the, target audience is going into this. We're not starting completely fresh. I guess one of the other parts of that is, now with the onset of Facebook advertising and the nuance that you have there and how granular you can be with targeting, I think, although there have been some privacy changes with the iOS updates and iOS 15, and I think we're still going to see, a lot of data built out through what we're able to do with Facebook. Love it or hate it, it's right now the only game in town when it comes to finding new audiences. I think, Google's great because you can target people that are already searching for what you want or what they want to buy. But Facebook, I think, is still the best way through Facebook and Instagram marketing, specifically through paid advertising to build out new customers. And so, what that looks like for us is we do everything in-house, whether it's, filming. So we'll, set up a day. We'll get a few games together for a photo shoot. We'll bring people in. We'll have them play our games, and we'll build out a really cool game room, either in somebody's home or in a different room. If it's in our factory, we've done shoots in our showroom before. And so, between showing people what it's like to actually have our games in their home, building out really cool renders that represent what they're going to buy. It's a multi-pronged approach, but I think the bottom line is, running paid advertising seems to be the most effective way to build out new audiences right now.
So you said you're doing all of this in-house right now?
Yeah. So I think I kind of got ahead of myself. We do have an external ad agency that we work with, and we develop all of our products. Build out the renders in-house. We do all the engineering, and determine the marketing sort of words and terms, and all of that spec is done in-house. And we do use external photographers. We bring in people, but all of our renders are done in-house, all of the game design, and then some of the advertising we work with an external agency on. P3 Media, they've been great. We started working with them this year, and years prior we used Clever Method, and so for online advertising specifically, these and for web development, actually on Shopify, P3 helped us transition from our old storefront, which was on ASP storefront.net. So they took us from there to Shopify Plus, which has been tremendous, I think, in terms of overall
smart move
management. Yeah. So it's it's been a long process, and I think we really just started using Shopify in July. But a lot of moving parts, and I think we're setting ourselves up for success, and we're really looking forward to what's going to happen this holiday season.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's probably a really good time for you guys. What are you kind of prepping for Q4? Because I know typically everyone's pretty much starting now if they haven't already started prior. So what do you guys kind of got in line for that?
So we're really now working on building out more personalized, personalized media for our customers. So we're beginning weekly newsletter series, really kind of detailing all of our games to kind of get our customers who've signed up to our newsletter, have previously purchased from us before, get them more acquainted with our new game offerings. Between that and building out new concepts like the wooden base Super Chex Pro I mentioned before the video started, the solid 4-inch thick maple, it really helps to complement somebody's game room, whether it's a game room with a pool table or they've got a wine bar. It kind of gives you that more rustic home feel. So, I think we're trying to thread the needle and build something for everybody this year. Really also build awareness, whereas last year this was a really new concept. People knew us as having the bubble hockey, but they didn't know us for our other games. So, I think just building awareness and making sure people get their gifts on time.
Nice. So you had mentioned you guys were mainly focused on Facebook, Instagram for your paid advertising, with obviously like some Google thrown in there for, higher search intent. But have you guys tried any other platforms at all? Have you gone down the Pinterest route or Snapchat or TikTok or anything like that? How have those gone for you guys?
Yeah, actually, we recently started to sell our products on Amazon as well. Oh. I know that had been done in years prior. And then this year we, they contacted us and we set the store again. It is a lot of work. I don't know if it will be worth it, but we'll see. And so we've done some Amazon ads in like the past month and a half since that store got up. But again, we'll see. Maybe it'll explode around the holidays. So far it's good visibility, but we did do Pinterest ads before. We might ramp those up again as we get closer to the holidays. When we transitioned to Shopify, we did slow down a little bit on ad spend. We had a tremendous year, but just wanted to kind of, as we're doing these improvements too, and, as we're speaking within like the next 2, maybe 3 weeks, we expect to have our user interface and user experience update complete on our website. So, we transitioned to Shopify and now we're redesigning so that customers have an even better, shopping experience on the front end and the back end. But, as it pertains to ads, we've done Pinterest ads, Hulu ads, and Reddit ads, Bing ads as well. We've used other platforms that, basically are ads brokers that get you onto like different web banners and stuff. But we also do affiliate marketing through Share a Sale with Advertise Purple as the agency. So really just, kind of looking at all the different options out there. We've had companies approach us about doing over the top ads through, their agencies, larger either radio companies or network, broadcasting companies that broker those kind of, ads as well. So, there's a lot to think about, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, there's countless platforms you can run ads on at this point. I'm impressed to hear Hulu ads. I don't hear that very often from e-commerce sellers. Typically, anything that even borderlines traditional advertising, they always kind of get cranky about it. So it's cool to hear you guys did that. How did that go for you?
I think we'd like to try it again. It's hard to kind of see what the results were from it. We did it only for, a brief 2-month span of time. And it's not as traceable, right? You're not going to see somebody click through, if they're watching on their TV. So I think we'd like to try it again. I think we just kind of, it was right before we launched our Shopify store. So we're like, let's put this on hold for now. And then, maybe look back at it as we get closer to the holidays.
Do you guys ever do
so I wish,
like discounts or anything?
Yeah. So we started as we launched our new site, and we've built out an attentive SMS, remarketing platform. So now customers can sign up, receive $50 off when they put their email and their phone number, and then they join our SMS list. So that's one of the discounts we offer. Traditionally, we're really, really I don't want to say discount averse, but because everything is handmade, it's something that I feel is tough to discount. And so we try to kind of make it pretty straightforward when it comes to that in our pricing. We do now have a referral program, which is kind of, it should probably make its way into the public view sooner than later. But right now it's kind of behind the scenes, but if you sign up for our rewards program, you'll also see that we have a referral program. So if somebody buys something, you refer them to it. I think a lot of people that have been thinking about our products for a long time, but maybe are less inclined to spend the full price would really love our referral program. But yeah, I think once we kind of flesh out the details of that a little bit more, I think it's going to be something that people are going to love.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just curious because I know with Hulu, like any kind of traditional marketing, it's very difficult to track anything. Sometimes, we've done stuff with, you kind of offer a discount code for a specific ad that you do through Hulu or through Spotify or something like that if it's difficult to track. Which is why I was curious. But either way, it's still really cool to hear that you guys have tried all those channels. How, I know that basically once you surpass using one or two channels, and you get into using 3 or 4 different advertising platforms, attribution tracking, I don't care what company you work with, it's damn near impossible because it's just such a fluid thing, especially as you had mentioned, like with the iOS changes and, with all the tracking that's kind of getting removed from everyone, it's like digital is going almost more traditional like it once was. So how are you tracking the success of all those platforms?
Well,
or how's your agency doing it?
Yeah. Couple of different ways. Obviously, there's the return on ad spend, which is, I think, a pretty important metric. We also like to look at what we spent in the years prior. It's tough, I think, to make comparison this year to last year because it was such an anomaly. And then also the year before for us, we didn't have the same product line. We had our super checks and our super kicks. And really, we introduced the other home games at the end of 2020. So it was around, I want to say, October, November. So there wasn't much time really before we started advertising heavily. But yeah, we're looking at revenue. We're looking at ad spend. We're looking at months prior. It's going to be something we're going to have to, look back at and analyze, as we go into 2022. I think, we've kind of found that, there's a certain price point that we have to hit when it comes to advertising to really move the needle. I think it's interesting, I guess, some of it has to do with the cost of your products and, like the ratio. At least this is what Facebook has told us, hey, you got to spend, I don't know, 10% of what it costs to sell that product, or 10% of what it costs to build that product, or the retail price to basically, make a sale. So, certain ads might cost, it's hard to really say, but it could be $500 per purchase. But I mean, some of that is just based on, they're a little tight-lipped about what they share with you. Could be $100 per purchase or $50 per purchase. It really, I think, is, unfortunately, a lot of that proprietary, sales advertising algorithm stuff is really frustrating.
Yeah. So with that price point kind of in mind, like I would also imagine that, well, actually, let me backtrack for a second. What do you know the lifetime value? Do you see customers typically buying a second or third game?
Yeah, we do, which is awesome, right? I mean, when you're talking about a product that costs $3,000 to $11,000, depending on what you buy, you're going to make multiple game purchase. We will offer a discount. If it's a 2-game, 3-game, 4-game purchase, there's a discount for you there. And we do actually see, customers coming back after they've purchased their first game or telling their friends. And it's hard to really say what that lifetime value is at this point, but we have seen, since we've introduced the new products, customers that bought one game for, $3,000 buying 4 or 5 more to build out a game room, and those, carry different price tags. If it's 5,000, 10,000, it's it's great. I think there are probably few businesses like this where you're going to see that lifetime value jump so quickly. Obviously, we're aware that the market for our products is, smaller than a t-shirt company, but we also have, the reputation and the uniqueness inherent in our brand and our trademarks and other, copyrights that allow us to be, I guess, more effective at selling, a unique product than, say somebody else comes up with a knockoff.
I would also imagine your shipping, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd imagine your shipping's probably not cheap, right?
Correct. Yeah. Everything ships, via LTL. Super Checks comes in 2 boxes, the base and then the dome. So that ships out, and it takes about 3 to 10 business days, depending on the freight company that we end up using. But it's it's not cheap, but we do offer free shipping, free standard shipping, which is I think a nice touch.
Do you also ship globally?
We do. So we ship into Canada with a customs fee, just because they charge us to bring games into Canada. And we ship globally either directly or through our distribution partners. For example, in Europe, we work with Sega Europe, and they do our distribution in the UK. Different distributors throughout the Middle East and Asia. But yeah, South America, you name it.
So I know that the company itself, the main entity, has been around since, I believe, the 80s, right?
Yep, 1982.
So, nice. So what is it you think on the direct-to-consumer side, now that you're kind of coming in and taking over, helping out with Shopify Plus and everything, what do you think is going to help the direct-to-consumer side get you guys over to the next level of, wherever your next target is?
Yeah. So I think, as we grow this side of the business, for us, it's going to be, the same sort of things that brought us success in the coin op space. Licensing, I think, is going to be huge for us. We've seen a ton of success with the NBA license, the NHL license, the MLS license, MLB, NFL. We had an NFL game called 2 Minute Drill. In the arcade space, we have carnival games as well. Those are unlicensed, but very thematic. Milk jug toss, down the clown. Whack and win, which is just like the test of strength, but we've made it skill. We did a Ghostbusters game, Angry Birds, cut the rope, doodle jump. Beyond that, and just being creative, I think will help us as we look to build out the home space with a similar template that brought us success in the coin op space. I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but pinball has seen a huge resurgence in home game rooms, and I think some of that magic is the licensing. The size is also a factor, but the licensing and the replayability, I think those things are going to be important as we scale.
Yeah. So what does product development look like? Like who has that job of coming up with all these cool games that you guys have?
Yeah. So Josh Krouse, he's in charge of research and development. He's also our COO, and my father, one of the partners of the company. He's been here, I want to say probably somewhere between 20 and 25 years. Started off as woodshop manager, grew that part of the business, then became the plant manager, operations, and then partner. And so he worked closely with our founder for many years, and the game development side of the business is very, very intense. So we be competitive, we come up with anywhere between 3 and 6 new titles a year. One of the games that we developed just before the pandemic, we made a giant 2-display game called Monopoly Roll and Go. So 2 monitors stacked upwards to give you a sort of half circle view of the Monopoly game board. So you roll a giant Monopoly die, and you spin through the properties. You can double down to get double the tickets. That game is a huge success for us right now. And Redemption, it's probably, I think, the number 1 ranked redemption game for family entertainment centers, just based on polling of arcades. That part of the business is a lot of it is, again, you base it on concepts. People come to us with designs sometimes. Other times it's completely internal. We'll take a design that somebody has, we'll work out a licensing deal or some sort of royalty agreement, and then we'll build our own version. So we do all of our prototyping here because we do manufacture everything here. We have our wood shop. We have a steel and aluminum shop. We do powder coating. All of our manufacturing is done on our production floor. So, cabinets are built in the cabinet shop next to the wood shop. We have a paint shop, and we bring it out for assembly. We have a harnessing, electronics shop, a tech room. We actually design the boards for the games as well. So we have engineers who will, design custom boards. So we have pick and place machines that will put chips onto printed circuit boards. I mean, it's pretty intense.
Nice. So what does your day-to-day look like?
Yeah. So between sales and creative for online, working with our agencies, working with our customers, fielding calls, emailing customers, working with our resellers, and some product conversations about product development, changes to the Shopify platform. So it's involved. There's travel as well. So I'll go out and I'll visit resellers. So a little bit of cold calling, a little bit of inbound. It's a little bit of everything. But ultimately, my role is to develop and build onto the growth of the home side of the business.
Nice. What is the next target? Like, I know you kind of mentioned, going through licensing and things like that, but yeah, I know, with the Shopify Plus that's just gone live, what is it you think is going to be that, okay, we've hit a new level there?
I think it would be, okay, we've doubled our, business for the home space. I think, doubling and then looking at that and saying, okay, we really want to put more in, and really, I believe that it can be as big as our arcade side in the coin op space. So, I think it's just as we look at how to scale, what we're comfortable with in terms of scaling the ad spend, and just the overall awareness of this side of the business. I think that's just kind of where we find ourselves. I mean, there are different product categories that we could get into as well that we haven't yet, but it's, is it a connected experience that takes you, beyond just playing the game at your home? Maybe you're at your friend's house, hey, saving into my profile here, or then you pick it up at your house, or you're at the arcade and you bring your progress with you. There's just stat tracking, things that you could get into. Building on future experiences on top of existing games, whether it's through free updates or subscriptions. We've updated our Ice Ball Pro and our NBA Game Time Pro with additional game modes for free. There's a Street Racer game now on Ice Ball Pro, which is basically you and your friends get 3 balls to move your car on the ice ball game. Basically, you get 3 at a time, and whoever scores the most progresses. There's 3 pit stops along the way, so it's a nice little party game, up to 4 players there, and than we did for basketball. We created a new time it mode. So there's basically an hourglass timer that moves up and down. And you get the most points for hitting it in the middle, different segments there. So just, coming out with new games, keeping people engaged and, listening to customer feedback. What are you looking for next, for your game room? And I think we're seeing some good signs there.
Obviously, really appreciate having you on the show. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I know you guys are obviously incredibly busy over there, but I really appreciate you joining us. And this is that stereotypical moment where I let you take a minute here, kind of let everyone know where they can learn more about you guys.
Absolutely. Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, I've enjoyed being on your show, and I appreciate the opportunity. So if any of your listeners are interested in buying any of our games or finding out more, you can go to homearcadegames.com and search through our site. You can reach out to me directly with any questions, either via email or my work cell phone. So that's J Krouse, JKROUSE at ICEGAME.com. Or you can call at 716-545-1220. Any of those options are great if you're just looking to learn more about what we do. Happy to help.
Beautiful. Josh, really appreciate having you on the show. Yeah, and thank you so much for everyone who listened. Make sure you guys tune in, subscribe on any podcast platform you want, or head over to YouTube and subscribe there, or just go to ecommshow.com to learn more. But per usual, appreciate everyone tuning in, and we will see you all next week. Have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ecomm Show. Head over to ecomshow.com to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or on the BlueTuskr YouTube channel. The Ecomm Show is brought to you by BlueTuskr, a full-service digital marketing company specifically for e-commerce sellers looking to accelerate their growth. Go to BlueTuskr.com now for more information. Make sure to tune in next week for another amazing episode of the Ecomm Show.